Books transform lives. They are bridges from your current self to your best self. And who better to show you the way to the top than those already there? Welcome to the book I'm reading, a weekly sit down with accomplished Nigerians where we find out what they are currently reading and how the book shapes their worldview. My name is Richard Mofedamijo, and I'm your host. Probably the most. Welcome to the book I'm reading, and my guest today has been described as a serial entrepreneur. I don't know what it means, but she will answer. Please help me welcome Joycee Awosika.
Thank you so much, Aaron.
Did I get that?
Joycee.
Joycee.
Oh,
Joycee.
Yes.
Oh, Joycee, like the Irish author.
Yeah, just like that. My parents thought it sounded French. So, Joycee.
Joycee. See? You learn every day. Joycee Awosika. You are the CEO of the Oriki Group.
Yes, sir.
I don't speak a word of Yoruba, but I find myself in Yoruba plays a lot. And one of my favorite plays was the Oriki of a grasshopper.
Oh, wow.
And it has become, the word Oriki has become like a favorite thing for me. You know, why Oriki though?
For me, it's all about the meaning of the name. Oriki means your inspiration. It means praise poetry.
I know.
So when someone is trying to bring out the best in you, they'll sing your Oriki name. And for me, I can't even do that. I don't speak Yoruba either, but the truth is, I felt that it carried so much power. And for us, the Oriki Group is all about bringing the best out in people through our wellness products, through our services, through everything. And so Oriki just fit. And then, as we move throughout the world globally, the brand, I want it to be a name that people would have to research.
Oh, I like that angle to it.
You understand? So if you're in Germany and you're picking up an Oriki product, or you're visiting an Oriki spa.
What is a Reiki, man?
What is Oriki? What is Oriki? And then they're going to Google it, and they're going to see praise poetry. They're going to see inspiration. They're going to see your crown, and that's the reason why I stuck with that name.
So tell me about this book that you're reading. What's the book, and who is it by, and why are you reading the book?
It's such a phenomenal book. It's called Good to Great by Jim Collins. This is probably my second or third time reading the book. Sometimes I just refer to it.
Why do I have this in common with all my guests? They are constantly rereading some Bible of the trade or something. Why are you rereading though?
You know why? Because in this world, mediocrity is so common. And when you're trying to build something that's for legacy, you need to see what others have done before you. You need to see the nuggets. I mean, there's case studies about it. And this book specifically talks about what makes companies move from being good to great. There's so many good companies, but what is that exponential factor? Sometimes we'll say, oh, Amazon, he's a unicorn, or he had money, or Bill Gates. But no, there's actually case studies that show you how people effectively move, why some companies make the leap and some don't. So I use it in staff meetings. I use it in my management team meetings. I read it when I need some encouragement. So it's consistently, it's like a handbook. It's a manual.
I get that. So straight away, do you have like a mantra from the book, a favorite thing from the book that you constantly go back to?
He talks a lot about the quality of a level 5 leader. A lot of times we
think... What level of leadership are you?
I'm level 5.
Oh, God.
I claim it. I manifest it. You understand? But what's interesting enough in this book is that when I read it, it felt like myself. And here's why. He talks about how for the companies to move from good to great, there have to be certain qualities in the leader. And, a lot of people look for people who have this larger-than-life personality, like huge, big personalities. And sometimes those people, they take up too much space and they don't leave room for others to kind of shine.
Word.
And he talks about how it's the opposite. Usually the traits of a level 5 leader is someone who's a bit more shy. They're a bit more quiet. They'd rather not get accolades. They'd rather not be seen in the media. They'd rather not be talked about. They'd rather talk about how amazing their team is. And I read it and I thought, oh my goodness, there's space for me.
It's always about the team.
There's space for me. It's about the team. And I may have a look that seems like it's larger than life. My personality is actually more introverted. So I felt like, wow, that means that I can actually be a level 5 leader, even though I'm more quiet. I'm more to myself. And that to me was very, very instructive. And so I refer to that a lot, especially when I push my team to greater heights, when I say, listen, you can do it. Imagine this. I'm also working for the company. I'm also an employee. It's not about Joycee. I've never built Oriki around Joycee. And that to me just proves that my method is the right way.
I don't like playing the gender card, but do you find that in the workspace, as an entrepreneur, do you find that you get a lot of pushbacks from men?
Well,
I like the way you did that.
Yeah, I took
you
a deep
heaved
sigh.
Yes.
Because you mentioned how I'm a serial entrepreneur in the beginning.
Yes.
And I actually think this has a lot to do with whatever industry we're talking about. So in my sector, Oriki, we're in wellness and beauty, agri-beauty. So typically it's driven towards more of women. We have, we're oftentimes our customers are more females. Oftentimes the partnerships we're trying to make are with other female-led companies. And so I don't sense it as much in Oriki. However, I was in the power sector. I'm an energy economist by training. And that is a male-driven industry. In fact, they wonder, what are you doing here?
Like you're an imposter or something.
Yeah, like what are you doing here? What do you have to say about the power sector? And in that case, there was a lot of pushback. There was a lot of feeling like you had to show your intelligence. You had to prove yourself. You had to go into overdrive mode to show that you were competent. And so, yeah, gender is still a part. It still plays a role. But I see that with more and more women taking their place, not cowering. You're seeing that there's more room for others to also rise.
Any truth to the myth or to the general saying that women are their own worst enemies, that they probably don't give themselves?
You want us to go there?
No, I'm just. That's why I said I don't like playing the gender card. But we're talking about companies that make the leap and the ones that don't make the leap, and you are in a space that you are doing legacy projects and all that. And of course, one of the things that you said that really appealed to me is the fact that you said you found yourself in it. And there is a space. People often say that, when people find themselves in certain spaces, they don't create spaces for other people. And women don't like to give a hand to themselves to bring other sisters on board. So I'm just curious.
Can I tell you that you're spot on? It's been my experience in Nigeria. I've just started talking about it. Coming to my first time in Nigeria was 2011. That was the first time. And I remember just being quite confused with how women were not friendly. They were competitive in the workplace, right? And I thought to myself that we should actually be joining forces, coming together, and encouraging each other and just, pushing one another. However, I saw quite the opposite. And I think it's because people, they don't get it. They're too focused on themselves. They're too focused on me. For me, constantly, I'm already looking at who my successor is going to be.
Oh, wow.
At Oriki. We're turning 6 on Monday. I'm only 6 years old. We're still young. And I'm still looking at who my successor will be. I'm still looking at a time where in 2 years, 3 years, I might not be part of active management.
You exit.
I will exit. I will be a part of the board. And I want to know who, right now on the team, who has the qualities and how can I prepare them? How can I equip them? How can I empower them? And I'm always looking for more and more women to hire. In fact, at Oriki, 90% women, 10% men.
Oh, power to the girls.
Come on, power to the ladies, So, yeah.
What would you consider your favorite, quote from this book? Do you have like a favorite passage or a favorite quote or a favorite thing that you go back to all the time?
Right. So one of the biggest things this book has done for me is given me courage in times when I wasn't quite sure what to do. So we all talk about the Nigerian problem, recruitment, getting good people on your team. Are there good people out there? Are there good staff? These type of things. And I've come to find that there are. But he talks about the role that intuition plays in recruitment and in hiring and in choosing the right team members.
Does intuition have anything to do with emotional intelligence?
It does.
Okay.
Go
on, don't let me stop
I think they're very linked, I think the ability to be able to discern emotionally, who fits, who doesn't, which personalities work. So there was a time when I was facing a dilemma with my management team. You know when you really like someone as a person and you know that they're passionate and they're loyal, but they don't fit the position.
Oh.
You know that's exact same feeling I had.
yeah.
Like, wow, am I really going to let her go? Am I really, she's loyal. If you called her at 4 a.m., she'd answer the phone and say, what can I do for you? But at the same time, this department is suffering because she doesn't have the skills. He talks about it in the book. He says, let them go. Painful, right?
My daughter goes through the same thing. The hardest thing for her to do is she's in tech, fintech, and the hardest thing for her to do is to fire.
People go.
Yeah, letting people go.
But we're talking about going from good to great.
Yeah, if you want to take the leap.
If you want to take the leap, if you want to take the leap in your company, you have to have the right hands. You have to fire. Armady, I'm sure I said we're about to be 6. Probably my first 5 years, I couldn't do it. I didn't know how to do it. I would say, okay, we'll find another role for this person. We'll get another person to join them on the team, which is increasing operational cost. No need for that. But now I've learned, I will. I'm so sorry to say, I will let you go.
I don't want to cross you.
You understand? I will tell you how fantastic of an individual you are. I will help you with your next position. I will tell you the strengths I see in you and what suits you best. But I'll have to let you go. And guess what that's allowed me to do? Free myself from the day-to-day operations and work on strategy and growth of the company. But before, you'd have to be doing other people's work for them. You know?
Nigeria is can best be described right now by what people call it, broken, flawed, blah, blah, blah. How does an entrepreneur like you trying to build a business, legacy and all, how do you navigate, our system that doesn't seem to enable growth?
Or favor. I say I take it day by day. I literally take it day by day. There are a lot of factors working against us every single day. Right now, look at the Forex. Policies were created, and all of a sudden, the cost of everything has increased. I can't necessarily pass on that cost to my customers immediately because we're all dealing with it. So today's problem is, how do we reduce costs? How do we mitigate the risk of decreasing our profit? So what do I have to do? Sit down with my finance team and figure out in which ways. This is a true story. A couple weeks ago, we decided that we're going to now procure things for 1 quarter up front because we don't know what's going to happen. So let's benchmark against. So it's literally like I'm taking each day and focusing on a challenge, right? I'm focusing on something we need to solve because, as you said, the environment isn't necessarily enabling, so you have to do what you can. I always say something like, as an individual in Nigeria and even as a company, we are our own government, in a way.
Oh, yes, from water to security to light.
So I'm facing every problem day by day. There's not, if you think you're supposed to plan long term, and we do as much as we can, but look at what happened. We wake up and now dollar is, I don't know the rate today. We wake up, pound is this amount. So there's only so much you can benchmark. And what we do is we take the challenge at the front of us and see what we can do today to make a difference. It prevents me also from burnout because when you start to think about all the problems, you won't sleep, There's too many, but I'll face the most pertinent ones every day.
A friend of mine told me that he's been so concerned about power that his house has achieved 90% self-power. From solar, inverter. Yeah. He's just been looking for alternative power all over. And maybe you should also look at that because you must be heavy on diesel and light.
We've done.
Oh.
Every single place we've looked at how we would move off grid, how we can utilize an inverter. We have relationships with all of our buildings, all of our, we're tenants in every building that we're in, so we have relationships with them, and that's the goal in the power sector. And there's also water. Right? You cannot operate a spa. So on the wellness side of things, even our manufacturing facility, you have to have clean and distilled water. So we actually create our own distilled water. We have a machine. The water comes through. That needs power as well. So every single day, we're looking at ways to mitigate the risks and the challenges.
This book, who would you recommend it to?
I'd recommend it to any single individual, even a workplace, career-focused people, anyone who doesn't want to settle for complacency, but wants to be excellent in anything that they're doing. It leaves nuggets for everyone. It talks about the importance of team. It talks about the importance of knowing your core competency. Amdi, can we talk about that for a minute? Because
Please.
I remember when I was starting Oriki, the typical Nigerian wanted us to be everything. So we started with a spa and products. They wanted us to open a hair salon. At that time, I was impressionable. They told me, open a hair salon. You have space in your building. I opened a hair salon. No business opening a hair salon. I kept seeing the salon was full, but where was the money?
They were working for themselves.
They were working for themselves. There was no profit.
It's like a nightclub owner.
Exactly. It didn't work. It didn't make sense, but we were busy. So it took me 2 years to wake up and say, Joycee, it's not your core competency. It's not even your passion. Close the hair salon down. When we did, we saw an increase in profit. Go figure. He talks about it in the book. He says that even if you're good at something, if it's not your core competency, if you cannot be the best at it, cut it out. We're in an industry where everybody wants, the spa industry is changing. People are looking at more medical spa services, things like that. People are doing, and I've stayed clear. We are wellness. We want to come and massage the RMDs, the facial, do a facial, do a body scrub, those wellness services.
So I should come by.
You should come.
Okay.
We're ready to pamper you. So we want to be able to do those things. People say, no, you need to add chemical this, you need to do this. But we know that we can actually be the best at wellness. We can scale with wellness services. He talks about it. And in Nigeria, this is a huge problem. Everybody wants to do Me Too business. That's why I say it's for anyone.
We copy and
copy
paste.
Everyone. If it's not your core competency, leave it alone.
I'm a child of the definition that some wise person once gave, that ecstasy is knowing that there are certain things you just can't do.
Come on. It's so true.
Yeah, so I don't bother with
It's
things that I'm not,
true.
good at.
Yeah.
Look, we're going to go on a short break.
Sure.
And when we come back, we are going to play a little game. All
Fantastic.
right. you feeling lucky? But before we do
try.
that, okay, no, when we come back from the break, I'll ask you that question before we play the game. All right?
Okay.
Let me introduce a new wave, we change the rules. A new app that you can use. Wanna change your life, then choose. Save money and invest. Pay bills when you decide. Safe and secure for you when you need a loan. Request it. One bank for you, one bank for me. So chill and enjoy the ride. Stop to cut and to count on it. One bank.
One Bank by Sterling. Open a current account and start transacting.
Welcome back. It is still the book I am reading, and my guest is still Joycee, not Joyce. Joycee Awosika. Okay, so our questions are generally taken from banking and all that. Okay, so question number one, and I'll give you multiple choices.
Sure. I
And
like that.
This looks easy.
I hope it is.
I hope
Don't
so.
embarrass me.
Now, which one of these does not exist as an online stroke mobile payment service? A, Apple Pay. B, Android Pay. C, Google Pay. And D, Samsung Pay. So I repeat the question. Which one of these does not exist as an online stroke mobile payment service? A, Apple Pay. B, Android Pay. C, Google Pay. And D, Samsung Pay.
I wish I had a lifeline here, but I
You
think I know the
wanna call a
answer.
friend?
I think I would have phoned a friend. But I think there's a trick question here because a Samsung is an Android.
Okay.
So I know there's Apple Pay and there's Google Pay. The question, is it called Android Pay or Samsung Pay? I'm going to say it is not B, Android. B, Android Pay.
If you had said
D.
D that
D.
you were going to say,
Yeah.
that you will have been wrong.
D. It's B, right?
I have not said anything yet. I'm just coming.
No. So I would have been wrong if I said D.
D, yes.
Okay, good.
Because there's nothing.
There's
There's
nothing.
there's Samsung Pay, If you had said C, I would have even been more surprised in being the very intelligent girl that you are. But you said B.
Yes.
You know, which is, I'm afraid, correct.
Yay!
All right. So question 2:
Okay.
which among the following is a Sterling Bank product? Do you have a Sterling Bank account?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Okay.
But we have a partnership with Sterling.
Oh, good.
Ariki
Good.
does.
Oh, good. So A, I invest. B, piggyvest. And C, you invest. Which among the following is a Sterling Bank product? A, I invest. B, piggyvest. And C, you invest.
Okay. PiggyVest is a separate company.
Yes.
Let's put that to the side.
Like, hello.
It's either I invest or you invest. And I want to think that Sterling calls it you invest. Is it I invest or you invest?
You're left with 2 choices.
Okay. Let me jiggle. I'm a perfectionist. This is putting me on the spot. I like to get everything correct.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I invest.
I invest.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! If you had said C invest, I mean, because we know piggyvest doesn't
is
even
separate.
exist. Now, if you had said
You invest.
you invest, you would have been
Correct.
no
Wrong. So it's
So
I invest.
Belle,
Oh gosh, I got 2 for 2.
so 2 for 2. Listen, it's been fun, but before I let you go, are you a child of books or you're a child of television, or do you books shape your life at all? Do you have what would you call your greatest book? What's the best book you've ever read?
I'm a voracious reader. Books. If you were
Okay,
asking,
do me 3.
Wow. Okay, I'm not even trying to be cliche. Number 1, the Bible. I've
Okay.
gotten the best lessons in life.
That's the
From the Bible.
A wise pastor once called it the University of Edifying Knowledge.
Such a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's just the manual of life to me. Number 2, it's interesting enough, it has a title from the Bible, but it's not a biblical book. It's called David and Goliath by Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell is one of the best authors in the world. And this book
David
talks...
and Goliath.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's business lessons as well.
It's
You may have heard about it.
It's one of, yes, it's on my to-do list.
Yeah. And then there's another book called Lean In. And that book is also a business book. You can tell I like business.
Hey, Ricky.
But
Hey.
yeah, but literally, I grew up reading books. I am that person that used to trade my time with my brother. So we used to have television time, and I'm like, take my television time and do my and you have to do my chores for me.
Yes, because I have something to read.
It's a book to read.
You're a book.
I'm a
You're a
bookie.
child of books.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a bookie. Would you consider writing a manual for those who are returning home like you on how to navigate the business terrain in Nigeria?
You're a bit prophetic. I'm already having.
Hey, the Oriki,
I've been writing a few books.
Oh.
Over the years. So we'll see. When I feel like it's the right time, I certainly will release a book.
Please, when you do that, come back here and let's talk about it.
I would love to. Thank you.
Joycee, do you have an Oriki, by the way? Have they given you? Are you
My dad is not listening. Yeah, I'm Yoruba.
Okay, so do you have an Oriki? My wife's Oriki is Abike.
Yeah.
That's why I call her, because her name is Adejumobi. But
Oh, wow,
I
you
call
call her Abike?
Yeah, because that's her Oriki.
Interesting enough, my dad says it's Ajoke. But if you're going to ask me what that means right now, I think it's the one who deserves to be pampered or something, which is interesting because of Ariki.
You do look like a girl to be pampered. I mean,
Don't know if
after
I'm
all
correct.
after all that day's hard work, I'll
Yes.
call Mr. Awosika myself.
Thank you. Please. He's
to
doing
make
a
sure
great
that-
job, though.
So I don't need to. I'll just pat him on the
You
back
can
and
just
say,
say, "Well done."
well done. You know, reports have
Yes.
it that you are doing well.
Yes.
Joycee, thank you for coming
so
through.
much.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
Great show.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. When we come back, it will be story time. Don't go anywhere.
Let me introduce a new wave, we change the rules. A new app that you can use. Wanna change your life, then choose. Save money and invest. Pay bills when you decide. Safe and secure for you when you need a loan. Request it. One bank for you, one bank for me. So chill and enjoy the ride. Stop the call and to count on it. One bank.
One Bank by Sterling. Open a current account and start transacting.
Right, so welcome back. Every week we learn something new about banking from The Truth About Banking, a book by Sterling Bank. So today we're going to be looking at the future of banking. Innovate or evaporate. Chinese business magnate and investor Jack Ma, in an op-ed for a Chinese newspaper in 2013, said, "There are two opportunities in the future of the financial industry. One is online banking, where financial institutions go online and conduct most of their transactions from that space. The other is internet finance, a new pathway of financial services that will be driven by alternative financiers." In many parts of the world, the banking sector has begun partnering with these companies to ensure they remain in the market loop. The arena is changing and banks are responding. As banking continues to evolve, it is going to be heavily dependent on data to help service providers in the financial industry gain insight into customers' financial and non-financial needs. Data-driven technology will help banks tailor services to the customer's needs and stay proactive in servicing them. It's beyond regular banking now. The banking value chain is changing unconventionally. Banks provide certain valuable services to customers, but as seen in Kenya, there is a new world order coming. Many other companies are beginning to offer better and more cost-effective services with the aid of technology. So, what is the Nigerian bank of the future? Around the world, banks are replacing PINs and passwords with biometric authentication, enabling customers to check balances and access statements securely through mobile devices. Customers no longer have to go through the process of storing and remembering complex passwords, and it reduces the risk of fraud for the bank. It's definitely a long way from clay tablets. Embracing new technologies will enable banks to change their own business models by turning data into insight, transforming ideas into action, and creating opportunities by embracing change. The Nigerian bank of the future is the bank that treats customers like they are everything, that treats each customer like they are the only reason the bank is in business, one that acts like a one-customer bank, because it is. It is one that personalizes banking services and offers customers a secure experience. We have come to the end of today's show, and as usual, I'll leave you with a quote. This one is from Yagiasi's Homecoming. Listen to this. I quote, "You want to know what weakness is? Weakness is treating someone as though they belong to you. Strength is knowing that everyone belongs to themselves." End quote. That's something to mull over. Now, before we go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Radio Now Studio, and text TBIR to 08096822595 on WhatsApp to join our book club. Today, you and I spoke to the entrepreneur and founder of the Oriki Group, Joycee Awosika, who is currently reading Good to Great by James C. Collins. What book is next? Find out on the next episode of the book I'm reading. This episode of the book I'm reading was written by Tomi Olugbemi and S.I. Ohumo. Audio recording by Adekunle Moradeyo. Audio engineering by Dan Atkins. Visuals by Amechi Osuchukwu and Esther Agoziem. And produced by Tomi Olugbemi, Nabila Usman, and Kayode Ladende. The book I'm reading is brought to you by Radio Now 95.3 FM and supported by Sterling Bank. And I'm your host, Richard Mofedamijo. See you next time.